first item out of a complete series. Or the MP40 also in 9x19, so 9mm. From the holes, and the air is going into the carbon fiber pipe.
All right guys, have I got a good one for you today? We're coming to you all the way from Enze, Germany. Behind me is the brand new Diana Airguns GSG manufacturing facility. And with me today I have Marcus Dombrowski. Marcus is the International Sales Manager for both Diana and GSG, and today he's going to get us all the way through their new facility.
Thanks, Steve, for coming over. Warmly welcome, and let me show you around.
Great, let's do it, buddy. AEAC is made possible by Air Venturi, Hawk Optics, Diana Airguns, FX Airguns, Daystate, Air Arms, Sports Match Rings UK, H&N Sport, Aztec Optics, and JSB Predator Pellets. And you guys know the best way to thank them. All right guys, they say that the beginning is a very good place to start, and apparently that's where we are. I see a lot behind us. Marcus, what is going on here?
Yeah, we are at the very first beginning because this is the incoming goods department.
Okay, so goods that you're bringing in are what, for example?
Goods we are bringing in are not the classical raw materials as you may from a production line. Our products we are bringing in are already ready products for the assembling line.
Okay, so you're bringing in finished parts and you're doing final assembly here.
Yes, this is correct.
Okay, so is that for all air guns? Because I see a lot of Diana names on these boxes up here, but I also see a lot of crates that are not labeled Diana. I know your brand from the air guns, but is there more going on here than just air gun stuff?
I see you have an eye for it.
Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Because we are two companies. We are GSG, which means German sport guns, and Diana Airguns for sure. So we have both. GSG is dealing with the firearms business and mainly with the rim firearms. And Diana is for sure known for airguns.
Okay, so I know the Diana brand. GSG and Rimfire and Firearms, what are some brands that they might know back home that are affiliated with that?
Yes. You already might know the GSG brand because the items are branded with GSG, but maybe you also find some firearms on the shelves which are also rim firearms, but mentioned with the Mauser logo. So we are also able to use the Mauser logo. So we have, for example, Mauser 1911.
Okay, so are you guys like providing firearms to law enforcement, military, private sector? Or are these like, I saw some replica guns yesterday, or is it replica? Like, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, we are only looking for rifles and pistols for the civil market. So we are not do any business with law enforcement or military sector. But you're right, you see some replicas, and I already mentioned one, which is in 1911.
Yeah.
But we also have maybe the famous one, MP40 and STG 44.
Okay, so when I was poking around in the vault, and I'll show you guys the vault here in a little bit, I thought I saw like 22 long rifle, rimfire.
Yes.
But I also thought I saw 9mm or something in there.
Yes.
So can you talk to that a little bit?
A very good catch, because most of the items are caliber .22 LR. But yeah, we have some 9mm items right now. For example, already mentioned the MP40.
Okay, so goods are coming in here. So an example of like, if you're bringing in like barrels and receivers and stocks and slides and handles and triggers and all that stuff, where are these, because it's going to be important to these guys, where are these parts being manufactured? Are those in the United States, Turkey, Great Britain, and where's this stuff coming from?
Yeah, I would like to love me to say they are coming from the United States for sure, but it's not right. I'm sorry. So most parts are really coming from Germany. You know, some exceptions, because maybe out of the Diana air rifles section, you know, the wooden stocks are coming, for example, from Italy. But you see, we have most of the parts are coming from Germany, and the other parts are coming from European Union, so very high quality parts.
Super. Okay, so I know your brand over the last couple of years has, there's been kind of a change, right? So if I have this right in my mind, there's been a sporting line of air guns over here in this bucket, and then over here in this bucket, there's been your professional line of air guns. And then what I've seen, especially like with your press releases over like, let's say the past year, you've made kind of a giant leap forward in the professional line of air guns. So maybe could you speak to the difference between the sporting line, the professional line, why you have the two, you know, what customers the two are directed to, and what it might mean to these guys?
Yes, that's right. So we split the sales program into two lines. So we have the action line, which is a line for some lower budget and for having fun with these items, and just for the entry level of airgun business.
Okay, I have an action line question.
Right.
So I want to make sure I have it right for these guys. So from my memory for the last couple of years reviewing air guns, this is the Diana Outlaw, this is the Diana Storm Rider, this is the Diana Skyhawk. Those guns which come from SPA, Snow Peak Air Guns, is that correct?
It's a mix of suppliers. So these items for us are a kind of trading items. So they're not produced in Germany, so they are coming from Far East, for example. So yes, we have this kind of trading items, but you can be sure that we will take care of the quality, and we will take care of some different features on the items, like maybe you know some similar items, but it's not the exactly identical item, so it's always some differences, like in the trigger, which is very important for an air rifle.
Yep.
So I think we did our job also on these trading items, and yes, for example, these are these items you mentioned.
Okay, so we've got the two buckets now. Why do you have that, and what's the main difference between the sporting line and the professional line? Like, what does that mean to these guys?
Yes, so now you have the chance to with the action line, which is the trading items line, to have good price value ratio.
Value priced is how we would say it in the US. Budget, yeah.
But you will have a start in with a good product and a trustable product and trustable brand. Mm-hmm. So it's a kind of beginner items for a good start into the airgun shooting. And we have the performance line, which is still made in Germany. So it's a very, very professional line with high quality, and for sure it's a bit more expensive, but you will see what you will get for this budget.
Oh, you know what else I wanted to ask you kind of here in the beginning? So we've all got like a roadmap in our head. Like, so when I was a kid, my first air gun was an RWS Diana 34. And I remember I bought it at an Ace Hardware store in I think it was New Jersey. My parents bought it for me. I was in the 4th grade. So when I think Diana, I think that. So for me, it was kind of new coming here and seeing Diana Airguns and seeing GSG. So is GSG and Diana Airguns the same company? Is one a parent company? Like, what does that all look like?
Yeah. So GSG bought Diana in the end of the year 2014. So Diana items now are in the product program of the GSG parts, but you still have for sure Diana branded on it, and we still have our own strategy on it. So it's splitted by the product program. So GSG, as I already told, is dealing with the firearms, and Diana is dealing with the airguns.
Okay, so before GSG acquired Diana, they were doing all of those replica and 22 long rifle and 9mm pistols that we were talking about, and then but now they own the Diana Airgun brand as well.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I think I've got that straight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask you before we move to the next station, because I don't want to forget. I know what I wanted to ask. I saw, and this kind of surprised me, I saw a big Sig Sauer display case, and that was super confusing. I mean, we are in Germany, so you would think Sig Sauer, but why was Sig Sauer here with GSG and Diana in the manufacturing facility?
Yeah.
That was very confusing.
Also a good catch.
Okay.
Congrats to that. Yeah, so Sig Sauer is a well-known brand, and located in the US.
Yeah, very popular
nowadays,
yeah.
But also a very good brand in Germany. So GSG has the official rights from Sig Sauer to distribute this brand in Germany, but only in Germany. So that's the reason why you see this display, but it's only for the domestic market.
So you're the distributor for Sig for Germany.
Yes, right.
Ah, very cool. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to ask you for this first stop. Is there anything that you can think of that maybe...
If we are talking about
I remembered something else.
If we are now talking about brands, then I will make a short U-turn to your point where you mentioned the RWS Diana.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Because that's confusing too, because when I was a kid, it said on the gun RWS Diana, and today it's just Diana.
Right.
So what the heck is going on with all that?
Yeah, so you are a US guy, and in the US, the Diana air rifles were sold under the RWS branding. So nowadays we switched this, so Diana air rifles are no longer sold under RWS branding, they are now branded with Diana. So if you see any Diana air rifles, you can be sure it's out of our production.
Okay, and so there is no more RWS?
No.
Only for pellets?
Yes, right.
So
but they're not
we're going way down this bunny trail this morning, guys. I come on these factory tours, and this is like my one chance to get all these questions answered for these guys, and so I can have it straight in my head. So I'm still seeing RWS branded pellets. Are those from Germany?
Yes, but not by our production.
Not by you?
For sure not.
Is that H&N Sport making the RWS, or is that like a different company altogether?
It's a different company.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I think I'm tapped out on the getting it straight and myth busting, but man, that was great. Thanks for kind of helping us through the lay of the land. So you want to head on over to the next station? Wherever that may be?
I will let you have some more insights. So we'll have some great context at all.
Yeah, seriously, we laid down a roadmap of context, man. So guys, just to kind of give you a picture of this, we're standing directly across from that huge scaffolding and storage of the raw materials that are coming into Diana GSG, and behind us here is quality control, QC. So what's going on there?
Yes. So first step with all the raw materials coming in is to check them in very, very detailed way. So we need to have a good quality control to check them with a kind of very, very small laboratory, because the tolerances are very, very limited, especially in the firearms business. So we need to check them in detail if all tolerances are okay or even not.
Okay, so if I'm following, those raw finished parts that come into you from Germany and the EU, in both the air guns and the firearms sector, all of those, I can see just like bins of them all around us. Those come through this room. And are you checking like samples, batch testing? Like, is it everything? Are you allowed to speak about that? Like, what are they, how close are they looking in here to make sure that stuff's right?
Yeah, so we have a kind of batch testing. So we are not 100% testing, but it depends on the supplier, depends on the parts. So
the suppliers that you trust more, you check less.
No, but
I'm just kidding.
but it's all about keeping on all tolerances so that the complete air rifle, the complete firearms will work in the end and will work pretty good. So we need to check this in detail.
Okay, so in detail. So does that mean the guys are looking at them just with their eyes, magnifying glasses. Are they weighing? Are they measuring? Like, what's going on back in here?
Yeah, everything.
Like all that stuff.
Yeah, they are looking with magnifying glasses. They are looking with specialized machines on it to measure the hardness of the parts, for example. So and the dimension of the parts. So it's a very, very detailed process.
I thought I saw some kind of like X-ray, you know, digamadad in here, and so that must be they're checking like the density or whatever.
Right, and it's much of paperwork because you have to write the report on it, and we we'll keep the reports for several years to ensure that every batch we will final assemble is still the same quality and still a good quality for sure.
Okay, so is there a quality control check at the end as well when the product is finished, or just here at the beginning when it's the raw parts?
Yeah, it's a continuous process. So we are starting with checking the single parts, and then we have very specialized employees who are also checking every step in the assembling lines. So there are functional sets during the assembling line already, so that when the product is assembled completely, then we will for sure have some test shootings by our authorities, which is the final step.
Okay, so let's have a little bit of fun and let's maybe like do some German. So what do you call this in German?
We call it Qualitätssicherung.
And I could never say that. It's been really cool hanging out here for the last couple of days. Your language is just like amazing. I can't pronounce half of it, but maybe we'll pepper some in. So if we have some Germans in the audience back home, they can try to enjoy it too. Great. Did I forget to ask anything over here?
I think on this step we are fine.
Cool. I know what I do want to ask. Like what? How many days a week do you operate here, and what are the typical hours? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So we have in general 5 working days, but if we are very busy, we can have 6 days by law. So the normal working hours are 8 hours a day plus some.
Like a lunch break?
Like lunch break.
How long do you get for lunch in Germany?
In general, we have 45 minutes break and then 8 hours work a day.
Cool. Okay guys, I think this is why we're all here. We are in the heart of Diana German airgun manufacturing. That's what's going on behind us. Marcus, there's Diana, what I know, was born, around 1900, right? Passed. And then there's Diana that I know from being a kid, kind of growing up with the brake barrels and the 34. And then there's Diana, where you want to go in the future, who you want to be going forward.
Yeah, completely right. So behind us is the assembly line from Diana, so it's maybe the core department of our company. And yeah, this gives us a chance to talk about Diana generally.
Yeah.
So Diana was established in 1890, so long history already.
Old.
Yeah. And it's a German company, and it was always a German company, and still it is. Because you can see we are still manufacturing the airguns here in Germany, right behind us. And we are going through a long history already with many famous products. So like all the Springers you may know, like the LP8 pistol, which is still the most powerful brake barrel air pistol in the world. So since several years now, but it's still the most powerful one. And you may know all the other Springers like 350 Magnum, which is a very powerful brake barrel air rifle, or the Underlever system, which is the 460 Magnum, for example, which is also very famous, also in the US, or the side-cocking lever systems, like we have the 48 or the 54 Air King, which is nowadays the 54 Air King Pro. This is a very interesting system, because maybe I don't know if you are aware of this, because this system is a recoilless system for the shooter. So developed several years ago by the engineers from Diana, and I think this is a pretty good item, and now available as a Pro version, which means it comes with some weight on the barrel at the front. Yeah, and this is also a Gold Award winner from the Harder magazine.
You have a couple of Ham Gold Awards, if I'm not mistaken. It's not only the 54, but it's also.
Yes, that's right. It's the
34 as well.
34.
I thought I read that somewhere along there.
Yeah, so we're coming back to the point, because your first air rifle from Diana was a Model 34.
Yep.
Because it's one of the most famous items from Diana in US. So we sell the 34 Classic very, very well in US, and we made a kind of successor, which is now called 34 EMS, which stands for Easy Modular System.
That's the new one going forward.
That's a new one, and you can check the results from the Hard Air magazine, because it's also a Gold Award winner. So we made our homeworks on this item, I guess.
And I think what we're going to do, guys, I think we're going to have a separate video for the 34 EMS and the XR200. I'll film it here at the Diana plant, because this week the actual engineer who designed both the 34 EMS and the XR200 is in-house. So we'll sit down with him and we'll have him take us through those two guns end to end. Marcus will be with us, and so look for that video. Hopefully there'll be lots to learn there. But I have a clarifying question from a guy who's an airgun enthusiast, who has been an advocate of Diana since, I should say when I was a little boy, but I'm still little, right? So I always had this image in my mind with Diana being like basically who Diana was 30 years ago to me is still kind of who they are today. There hasn't been a lot of change. We have, we've got the German manufactured product. Then you brought in, the lineup from the East so that you could have some value priced air guns, right? So that's kind of been the playing field. But then if I'm reading you right, going forward, this isn't the Diana you want to remain. You want to continue to innovate, continue to bring new products, which we're spearheading with the 34 EMS and the XR200. So can you give us a little bit of a glimpse into the future? Like how many more guns are we going to see? Maybe how often? Because this is very new to us.
Yeah.
Because we know Diana as being Diana for decades, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see movement again and change again. And so, what's going to happen with all that?
Yeah. So we still have an own research and development department, which is really important to have this. So all the new items are developed here in Germany. And as I already told, we want to proceed with some new items out of the performance line, which means they are made in Germany. So we will go ahead with this line in future, concentrate on this line. For sure, you already mentioned we have also the action line.
Yep.
But this is
performance in action.
Performance in action.
I will eventually get this down. It's starting to cement.
Yeah, just to get a complete sales program, which fits perfectly together. But in the next years, we want to concentrate on the performance line, which is made in Germany. So
okay, so you've established that, that kind of that SBA line, value priced, and now you really want to focus your energy on some new German products.
Sure, because this is what we stand for, which Diana is known for. So we have to concentrate on this area, and we also want to use all these experiences we made in the past, because we have a long history, and also GSG is turning 20 years this year.
Oh, cool.
So also they have lots of experiences, and I think if we put everything together, then we will have a good mix of experience and a good mix of engineers, and yeah, so we are looking into a great future with many new products. We are working on a complete series. We just started with the XR200, but it's just the first item.
Right.
We will build it up to a complete series.
Well, really the second item, because a year or two ago was the new EMS, which is the modular version of the 34.
Right.
Which you want to talk a little bit about it here to plant the seed for the other video?
Yeah, sure, we can do this. So yeah, if you are going to the Springer air rifles, and especially to the 34 EMS, then we have some advantages now on the new system. It's more easier to change the barrel now, and you can easily change also the sights on the barrel. In the past it was a bit difficult.
The caliber. So you can swap the barrel caliber out.
Sure, you can.
Is that what you meant, size, or did you mean like length?
No, I mean the caliber.
Caliber, okay.
You can change the barrels, and then with it, the caliber for sure.
Okay, so it's a break barrel air rifle, spring gun, where we can now change barrels, change calibers.
Right.
Made in Germany.
Yes.
Good stuff.
And you can also change the sides, front and rear side, easily on these barrels. So you can choose if you want to have a fiber optic side or a metal side.
Cool.
Very easy. you can set the barrel droop. So it's important if you want to do some field target or something like this, so shooting on a long range, you can set the barrel droop. It's the, yeah, I know.
Yeah, they know what barrel droop is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's easily
Which is going to be important. It's going to be important based on what sights you're running, or even if you're running sights and or maybe running a scope instead.
Right.
And also as a break barrel air rifle, just in case we have anybody new, kind of lives through its life. And these are guns behind us here, guys, that you can pass down to your grandkids. They last that long. The parts will settle in and wear, which is why it's important to be able to make adjustments for barrel droop. That's just the normal life cycle of a spring gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect explanation.
All right. So we can change barrels, we can change sights. Is there anything more to the EMS?
Yes, you can convert it from a Springer air rifle to a gas piston system very easily.
Back and forth. And I'm going to ask, when we get in front of the engineer, I'm going to ask him his thoughts on coil spring versus a gas ram.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so that's 3 big things you can change back and forth.
Yeah, and you still have the TO6 trigger, which is well known for Diana and very precise trigger.
Great. And will the stocks be changeable too? Like, is there synthetic, wood, different colors, anything like this?
Yes, you can choose between a wooden stock and a synthetic stock. And at the moment we offer the synthetic stock in a black and in a green color.
Okay.
They're interchangeable.
Cool. Anything else?
I guess it's our main points.
All right, well, I thought of something else I wanted to ask. So I've noticed a theme as we've kind of gone along the tour today. A large part of German sport guns and Diana is firearms, right? You had mentioned it earlier in this conversation where you're taking some of those engineers, some of that technology, and you're bringing it over into the the performance line. Well, what I thought I saw, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but the same core group of assemblers that are building the firearms. So where I'm going with this, a very high caliber of trained employee. I also see kind of over here doing air guns. So do I have that right? Is it the same group of people that assemble both? Maybe you can speak to that?
Yeah, so we are very flexible in our assembly lines. So we can, it's a kind of switching the workers between both assembly lines because they are well trained and know both product ranges very well. For sure, we have also some specialized guys who are dealing more with the firearms or who are dealing more with the air guns.
Okay, sure.
They are kind of assembly leaders.
Sure.
But in general, we are very flexible.
They're universal in general.
Yeah, and we can use the knowledge of the people in both assembly lines.
Very cool. The other thing I wanted to ask is with your performance line, right? So they probably want to know your stocks. Who's making your stocks? Your barrels. Who's making your barrels? The TO6 trigger, which is, I think everybody knows that's been around at Diana. That is a phenomenal 2-stage match trigger. I saw a whole bucket of them here the other day, a whole bin of them. We'll get into that maybe as we're talking. I can show some pictures and some video, but I'm seeing lots of cool stuff here. Wood stocks, synthetic stocks, different kinds of barrels. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. So as already mentioned in the previous steps of our tour video, they are coming from specialized suppliers which are located mainly in Germany. So we receive them as this kind of raw materials. We talked in the incoming...
In the very beginning, which is checked for quality control and all these things, yep.
And then we will here make the final assembling in our house. So the suppliers are very specialized and experts in their branches and their economics.
Sure.
And they are mostly located in Germany. The stocks, for example, are coming from Italy because there the suppliers are most experienced to do this in a very accurate version.
Is that Minelli or is it not? I don't know.
Yes, it is Minelli and some others, so it's a bit...
Us Italians know how to make stocks, so...
Yeah, but also Minelli.
I think that's a good thing.
This one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. What about your springs and your gas pistons? Like, is that all a kind of a German product as well?
Yes, it is. It also comes from the specialized suppliers, and these ones also come from Germany.
Okay, and to clarify, the TO6 trigger, it's not made here. It's just, it comes in like a component here, and then it's assembled or comes into the factory, pre-assembled by your German partners, and then final assembly is here.
Especially the trigger? No.
Oh, okay.
For the trigger, we are also just getting the parts, and we made the final assembling of the T06 trigger.
Oh, very interesting. See, the more I ask guys, the more I can pull out of them. So I wish I had them to say, you should be asking them this and this, because I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting, and I'm kind of scanning behind me here as we go. But there's a lot going on. I just don't want to forget anything.
All the sensitive parts need to be done by ourselves. So the trigger is a very important part of the air rifle, very sensitive in working together with all the parts. So we will make the final assembling of the complete trigger unit here in-house. And then for sure all the other parts are putting together to the complete air rifle.
Very cool. So maybe before we kick out of this area, let's plant a seed on the XR200, because they've heard us mention it several times, guys. But this is going to be part of that performance line of Diana going forward and doing some things very differently. We know that a lot of their production has been rooted in tradition, you know, over the last decades. But what I saw in the XR200, high performance pre-charged pneumatic, is a very far departure from what I've seen in the past. So do you want to, we're going to have a separate video for that. So watch for it on my channel with the engineer who helped design it, or designed it, I should say. But do you want to hit up some talking points on that PCP?
Yes.
It's pretty huge.
It's huge, yeah. And it's a current project because this is a new item. So we'll start with the XR200 as first item.
Can I go get it while you're talking about it?
Yeah, we have it in the backyard.
So lightweight. This thing must weigh, like, I swear, guys, like 4 or 5 pounds. Crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So this, as I told you, is the first item out of a complete series. You see the rings standing for the German flag. So this
in different colors, and that is so trick.
So indicates that it's a German made in Germany item, and we will also have a very smooth trigger, kind of T06 trigger. We will have a complete ambidextrous system, so you can put the cocking handle easily with just 2 screws on the other side. You can change the manual safety with 1 screw to the other side, so it's completely interchangeable. You can put this manometer easily on the other side, so it's also possible. Just turn it around and you have it now on the other side.
Genius.
So we put different sorts on it, and it will be available in the calibers 177, 22, 25, and 30.
So the barrels are swappable as well. And the barrels are coming from where?
From Germany. We have Lothar Walter barrels inside. And yeah, it's for sure changeable, so you can change the caliber, and you can also change to specialized barrels. In the after-sales market, we will offer you some specialized barrels for slug ammunition, because this is a very important point, I guess, because it's coming very famous to shoot slugs, and you see this wide range to put in a magazine, so we can shoot very large slugs regarding their length. This is not normal for a PCP air rifle. It's very, very special. So have a look on the technical details, and you will see that we can shoot the most lengths in the market at the moment.
Now, right now, they're all at home taking notes, and they're probably screaming in the camera. Steve, ask him, is it regulated? And is it adjustable? Which is the big stuff.
Yes.
Marcus?
It is regulated. It has got a regulator from the company Altaros inside. It's a very, very good known company for airgun regulators. And the regulator is adjustable. Not from the outside, but it is adjustable.
And the hammer spring, is it adjustable?
Hammer spring is also adjustable. You can just it's interchangeable. It's not adjustable from the outside.
Okay, you want to talk? What's this then? Is this for transfer port adjustment?
Yes, you have got here a little screw where you can regulate the energy. So important for all the full power markets, or where full power is allowed. You can easily change the energy here. So if you want to save some air of the cylinder to become more shots out of it, you can easily turn it down to a lower energy. So you can save some
power.
So
this is, if I'm reading Marcus right, this is probably a transfer port adjuster. The regulator is adjustable, but it's internally adjustable. You probably have to take the stock off. And so what do you anticipate the price point of the XR200 to be, and when do you think we'll start seeing it?
Yeah, that's very interesting. You see, you have one already in your hands. So
You're going to send me one, right?
yeah, I will also send you one for the review video.
Fit in my suitcase. You heard it, guys. Review video. All right.
Yeah, so we are just starting the serial production. It will take some further weeks, I guess, to get the first output. So I think, especially in US, we will need 6 to 8 weeks more to have them available in any way.
So maybe this winter, this fall, something like that.
Yeah, right. And we just pointed out the price point in Europe, so I can only talk in euros at the moment.
Sure.
And it will be between 1,000 1,200 euros, depending on the stock design, because it will later on also comes with a wooden stock design.
Okay, so we could say maybe $1,100 to $1,400 range, maybe something like that in there.
Yeah.
All German-made air gun. Guys, and something else I want to point out that I noticed, to maintain quality control, I saw that you have only 2 people in this entire facility that are doing the final assembly of the XR200.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, so they get special trained by the engineer who developed this air rifle. So we want to go into detail with this one because this is our new baby, and yeah, it should also win some prizes for us, and should be a good seller. So we have to make sure that this item is really a specialized one, and always like all the others, always a very good quality. Yeah, we are really excited to receive your first impressions, your comments on it, because I think you are missing some PCP air rifles from Diana in the past, and now it is available, and now we will start over with the new PCP series, and you can look forward to have some new items out of it within the next years.
Excellent. All right, so before we move on, what are we forgetting? I know I keep asking, but this is my one chance to griddle you.
I don't know. I think we have now a round picture about Diana, its history, its current standing, its future projects.
Any talks of different? I know your brake barrels are all amazing, and they've really been all perfected. But any maybe new brake barrels designs? Is there talks of it?
Yeah. So we will change things rapidly because depending on the different market needs and requirements. So we're thinking about making some new items there, but it's maybe first step will be about design. Changing the look, changing the stock, changing some accessories or something like this. A complete new construction of a Springer might take some longer time.
Right over there in the research and development department, which I don't think I'm allowed to put a camera on for you guys, but it's right over there and it looks really cool. Looks like a big chemistry lab. They got the computers and sealed rooms and all sorts of cool, crazy stuff over there.
Yeah.
I like it.
So we'll always have an eye and an ear on the market, so please send us your comments and your requirements, and we will mix all together and try to make the right product for you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So Diana's taking this really seriously, guys, this big financial investment, this big move, re-emergence, if you will, into the airgun industry. So all of the steering team here at GSG and Diana are going to watch the results of this video very carefully and your reaction to it. So if you want to speak to them, leave those notes in the comments down below. They'll be reading all of them. So that's your opportunity to tell them what you think and where you want them to go and whatever.
Yeah, cool. That's also the reason why we start to work with YouTubers like you are, because we want to get closer to the market. We want to get all these comments, and we want to place more videos on YouTube. So let's do this.
So if you're an up and coming YouTuber, or if you're an established YouTuber, I think what I heard is that you should mention that in the comments down below or contact Diana, because you're looking for content creator partners in the industry to help you carry the mail. Did I hear that right?
I guess this is well pronounced.
I guess. Yeah, hit them up, guys. They need YouTubers, and I think we're going to see some really exciting stuff coming. And very proud and privileged to be here for sure. So, shall we move on?
Sure.
Great. Thanks. This has been amazing. So this is a super neat area, guys. What's going on behind us is this is final assembly for all of the GSG branded firearms. And I think, and maybe you can speak to this, but what's so interesting to me about this is you have under one roof the same, I don't want to say the same group of people, but the same level of professional assembling firearms as you have assembling air guns. And in my head, the reason that's important or maybe meaningful to these guys is it brings like a higher caliber of technician, it brings a higher caliber of quality control, assembly, and just because I know there's a stricter level of rules and regulations governing this, and here it is, and it's kind of the same energy you're bringing into manufacturing air guns or assembling air guns. You want to speak to that?
Yeah.
Maybe I have it wrong, I don't know, but that's just where my head was with it.
Yes, you're totally right. So we have very specialized employees who are very good in assembling, and yeah, it's the kind you already talked about. So it's a good exchange of both companies to have these specialized people to do it on the firearms and to do it on an air gun. So you see, firearms is a very, very detailed work and very precise work, and we have the same expectations on the quality on the air guns. So it's a perfect match to have these kind of employees and specialization in our company.
So we've talked about GSG firearms being sold in America. Are there other countries that buy firearms from you that are buying this product?
Yeah, we are a company which is dealing worldwide. So we are limited by the different laws for sure, and the biggest market is the US market, as well as the Canadian market, for example. So,
interesting.
But in general, we are dealing worldwide. We also have some customers in Europe, for example. So it's a wide range of customers.
How about like in the East? Like, do you have customers like in India, in the Middle East, and Asia, like in these areas?
Yeah, these are very difficult areas for firearms, but in the airguns business we have. So we have also a big business for the airguns in India as well as in the Arabian markets, for example. But for firearms it's a bit different because it's complicated markets and difficult to enter, and sometimes forbidden for us to enter them by German law.
Ah, I see. So, guys, remember when I mentioned the Volt earlier? We're going to get in there in a minute, but it's amazing, and we'll dive all into it, like the rules and regulations, like how thick the walls need to be, how many like different layers of security, and the checking and the double checking, and Germany is like a very safe, regulated country when it comes to this sort of thing. So there's some craziness to talk about over in there, and then there's also back in here, are these firearms being test fired?
Yes, it's a German regulation, so they are test fired by the authorities, so they will get a stamp with the German eagle on it, and with a combination of numbers and letters from the authority department who did it. So yeah, it is a kind of quality label because it's under regulation of our authorities.
Okay, and so there is like a shooting range back in here.
Yes, it is.
Will we be able to show them that?
Sure, we will get you over there. It is in the cellar of this building.
In the cellar, so downstairs, like in the basement.
Right.
Okay, cool. So, what maybe makes and models, and we touched on the brands earlier, are they putting together in here? I can see some pistols going over here, lots of rifles going on. Over here, like maybe take us through the different models in case they're interested at home. Maybe they want to take some notes and write it down if they want to look at your product. So what are we putting together in here?
Because we are staying here at the assembly line from GSG, German sport guns. So we are producing here the pistols, which are the 1911, for example, the Firefly, or the new Mauser M20.
Okay, so the Firefly and then the pistol, are those 22 long rifle?
Yes, they are.
And then the Mauser, is it also that?
Also that. Yeah.
Also that. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Just wanted to...
Yeah, and we have also some rifles like the GSG 15 and GSG 16, also in caliber 22 LR, and as already mentioned, the MP40 and SCG 44, which are in caliber 22 LR, or the MP40 also in 9x19, so 9mm.
Okay, 9x19, that's the 9mm Luger that we all know at home. And for y'all that live with me in Florida, we got a lot of those. So the MP40, is it a replica MP40 or is it like an MP40 that law enforcement's going to use? Because I'm a retired cop, and the MP40, that was actually our tactical pistol of choice for like search warrants and building entries and these kinds of things. So I'm familiar with that. Is this that, or is this something different than that?
The construction is for sure different. So the outer appearance is looking like an MP40, but it's not in one-to-one replica. So it's a bit different.
Okay, and so how does this work? Do you guys have like a license? Do you license like directly with the manufacturers of those to replicate the pistols? Sort of similar, or like how does that all work? Or the pistols and the rifles?
Yeah. So
complicated, I'm sure. But.
No, everything is fine. Okay. So you see, we have some replicas which are made in 22 LR caliber. So it's a completely different construction. Just we have the same outer appearance. It looks like the one. So we do not have any special contracts to make one-by-one replicas because they are different. But in general, as we have the big name or brand Mauser behind us, we can use these items from the companies and make some replica items or just use the brand.
Okay, so which items fall under Mauser? Which model guns?
Yeah, if we are looking to the US market especially, because they are also sold under Mauser branding there. We have the Mauser 1911, for example. We will have the Mauser M20, also the pistol, but as well as the rifles, also M15, like Mauser 15 is also available, which is a rifle gun.
Okay, so this room is undoubtedly one of the coolest rooms in this facility. As far as like a cool factor, when I was scoping all this out yesterday, I kind of did a double take over here and I was like, what the heck is that? Not only because is this chock full of finished firearms, and I'm guessing some airgun product too. I haven't, dug into it that far, but it was like stepping into Fort Knox. I mean, I'm seeing like concrete walls over here like this thick and all sorts of craziness. There's like a secure door in the back for maybe the trucks to come in and out. Can you just speak to all of that?
Yeah, so it's a kind of bunker we have to build, especially
good word.
Yeah, especially for the firearms. So normally only stored firearms in this kind of bunker.
Okay, so the air guns don't have to be in here per German regulation.
Yes, right. And over there we have a specialized door for all containers, so they are with export direction for sure, so we can load directly the containers at this gate. But it's a special gate because there are 3 doors behind each other to be on a secure way.
With laser beams and blow darts and tear gas, I'm imagining all sorts of crazy stuff.
For sure, we have a excellent alert system also for this bunker. But yeah, it is just a German law, and the authorities get to approve this room. And everything is special. Nothing is normal on this building.
All right, I have to hold you up on the 3 doors. So I see one internal door that faces firearm assembly, which is right behind us here. But 3 doors over here, so where the trucks come in, they have 3 separate doors. Can you talk to that a little bit more?
Yes, you have the normal door outside for the loading ramps from the trucks.
All right.
Then you have a metal door as next, a second door, and the third door is here, the inside door, which is also made complete out of steel. So it is a 3-door system in the end. So you have one which can be rolled up like a normal door for this kind of truck docking stations. Then you have the metal door as second, and the massive steel door to get in this bunker.
Well, and then I noticed even outside, there's that steel gate to get in to even the loading area, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, right. We are surrounded by the...
It's like being in jail. Yeah. Being at Diana is like being in prison, folks. No,
yeah, we cannot even close only this building, but the complete area. So we can lock it by closing the gates from outside. So no one can go on our ground, on our area here.
Amazing. What about the roof? That actually looks like steel and concrete on the roof as well. which is mind-blowing. Am I seeing that right, or am I imagining things?
Yes, it's correct. So we have to build this kind of construction. I call it bunker. I like to
it's a good word,
call
bunker.
it bunker.
Yeah.
And yeah, the authorities' requirement was no windows, no light roof construction. So everything is cement with some steel inserts.
Rebar. So it's all rebar reinforced cement, and I see like a steel door here. Holy moly! And so once the guns come in here, have they already been quality controlled and test fired, or do they bring them in here for storage and pull them back out? Like, how does that all work?
Yes, it's a bit shared use of this room.
Okay, sure.
So normally it is a kind of storage for ready produced and packed items.
Okay.
However, you have some different steps in the assembly line.
Yeah, like these aren't packed. These are like on wheeled-in carts.
Yes.
This is all packed.
Right. So it's a German requirement from our authorities that if you are closing the company in the evening hours, then all pre-assembled rifles,
So all this
or
comes
pistols
in.
comes in to be stored overnight here in this bunker.
Okay. Wow, this is amazing. And there's a basement too, where the fire is that under here, where the testing is.
No, it's in a different area, but it shouldn't be possible to hold up this bunker.
All right, so if you're a bad guy, you ain't getting in here, no matter what. All right, we are in the bowels of Diana Airguns GSG, and this is all new?
This is all new and still a bit under construction, so yeah, sorry for this, but yeah, this will be our testing range for test firing also airguns and firearms, because it's a legal thing for the firearms. We need to test firing them with inspection from our authorities as well. So yeah, this can be done next time here in these rooms.
So I thought I saw upstairs on the main floor, there was closed doors, like you see these two closed doors, and you could hear them firing in those rooms. Is that what, so that's what these two here will be?
Yes, that's correct. So these both rooms behind us will be for technical tests, so not shooting on a target, but make some technical shootings and test if the pistols and rifles are technically okay.
Yeah, is it cycling properly? Is the magazine working? Maybe they can
Right.
check velocity
Yes.
in those rooms, but they don't test for accuracy in those or these two.
Yeah, this is correct. So they're shooting with testing ammunition, which have got an overload by 30%. And the firearms needs to withstand these bullets or these cartridges with 30% overload.
That is very interesting. I never realized that. So you actually have special cartridges
Yes.
that overstress
Yes.
the firearm,
Yeah.
so that when it gets down the road in the consumer's hands, you don't have any problems.
Yes, that's the rule in Germany. The authorities want to have these technical tests,
Yeah.
so that you shoot with this test ammunition, and this test ammunition have got an overload by 30%, and the construction of the firearm need to withstand this.
That is fascinating. It's very reassuring, actually, too. So these two rooms and the ones upstairs, is that only for testing? I should lower my voice because of the echo. Is that to give you guys a kind of picture? This is all like concrete over here, but like in here when I talk, it's like all sound deadened. It's pretty cool. It's like a recording studio on this side. So these rooms, are they for only testing the newly assembled firearms, or is that also part of the service department?
It can be used for both. So normally, or it will be mainly used for the new ones, because
Okay.
the quantity is much more than for the returned ones. So, but you can use it for both, just to make sure that if we ship the items back to the customers who send it for repair reasons to us, it's working properly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so behind me here is a shooting range. There's not one of those upstairs. That's something.
That's something completely new. So we had have this in past for airguns only, because we are in Germany. Some special restrictions and laws for some kind of shooting ranges exist here in Germany for firearms. So we never had this before. We just have the technical tests before, but now we can also test our firearms on a range of 25 meters, which is in US maybe 75.
75 feet.
75
Yeah,
feet.
25 yards. We would say yards. It's very
Yards, okay.
close. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have the possibility to test it on this range, and this is for sure valid for both. We can test firearms now, and we can also test the air guns on this range.
Cool. Last question down here. So behind me, I see what looks like a service platform / elevator on the concrete side. So I'm guessing you can bring product down here.
Sure, yeah. So we are downstairs and we need to get the items down here. So we need some kind of elevator and yeah, that's it.
Is it required that the shooting be done in Germany at subsurface levels, or is that just how you did it?
It's not required. We have some overfloor of the floor or on the first level or basement level, but it's regarding the points of the law you have to fulfill. It's easier to do it in the down levels.
I asked the question wrong. Like these rooms I know were upstairs, but as far as like a full range shooting range, that can be upstairs as well, is what I meant to say. It's nothing like you just put it down here for safety and convenience.
Right.
Cool. All right. Next stop.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it. So airgun service is an important piece of any ownership experience for the retail customer. And I'm guessing geographically, you have different service points around the world for your retailers probably and your distributors. But we're in Germany. So if I live in Florida and I need my Diana fixed, I'm not sending it here.
Right.
So what's all happening here?
Yes, this is the service and repair department for the domestic market, so for Germany. So the retailer shops can send back items for repair. But we have a different model in the export market. But for sure, the shipping it back is not an economic way to handle it. So we are taking care that all of our distributors have some kind of gunsmith who can do this work professionally. So the retail shops can ship back the items to our distributors, who are the importers of our items in these countries, and they will fix it.
Do you want to talk about in America who the importer is? Where they are, what their role is with Diana, and GSG maybe in the United States.
Yeah, it's a bit split. So if we are talking about Diana Airguns, then we have a general importer in US, which is the company Blue Line Solutions.
Blue Line Solutions?
Yeah.
And they are where?
They're in Ferndale.
In where?
Ferndale.
Ferndale, what state?
Washington.
Washington, okay, got it. So Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So there's a general importer, which means they import the items, take care of the service and repair, and send it out to the different distributors. So the big distributors in US.
Yes. So the retailers, the companies that sell us the final product, comes from Blue Line in Washington.
Yeah.
And if they have issues with product, they can send them back there for service and repair. So that's the support network.
Yeah, sure.
In the United States.
Yes, and we will support them with any help of our knowledge, of our engineers' knowledge, and for sure with spare parts and everything they will need. But they have their own gunsmiths and they can do it professional, and we will take care of it. Okay,
but for them it's factory direct. They can pick up the phone, talk to you guys, they can talk to your engineers, technicians. If I heard you right, they have the parts on hand to make the quick repairs, not have to wait, these kinds of things.
Yeah, right. We had close contact, so it's no problem at all.
That's amazing. You look at the size and the complexity of all of this, and you wrap your head around it, and then you have the importers, distributors around the world, it's a funnel, and then from there it goes to wherever your favorite retailer is, and it's just a huge support network. Massively expensive, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's long ways.
Yeah.
But today, we have digitalization, we have emails, we have digital conferences, so it makes it easier to support them on this way. So long ways for the items to be shipped to the end users and customers, but we are close by with service and support.
All right, let's talk about close by. So I live in Florida, right? Maybe I don't want to talk to Blue Line. I'm a retail customer, right? Maybe I don't want to talk to Blue Line Solutions. Am I able to somehow communicate directly with Diana Germany? Maybe by email or chat, or how does that work?
In general, yes. We have a contact or page on our website where you can leave your contact information and your message, and then we will try to help you. But in any ways, it's normally about repairs and service reasons and needing some spare parts, and it's difficult to send the spare parts directly from Germany to the end users. So that's the way why we send the customers to our distributors to ask them to send over some spare parts, or maybe return the item directly to the retail shop because maybe you have some kind of warranty. It depends on the country.
Got it. Yeah.
But this is the way the items get shipped to the users. It should be the way they get back. So first step should be to contact your local retailer, and he has the full support of our distributors. And for sure, you can always contact us, and we will try to help you. But yeah.
Yes, I'm clear. For clarity, I'm following what he's saying. So if I live in Florida, what I wanted to know is, can I communicate with Diana GSG? I get it. I live in the United States. I'm going through my retailer for help. The retailer's going to Blue Line Solutions for help. You know, there's a chain of command here. But you know, it's always good to know that you can communicate directly with the factory if you wanted to. But that's not happening here behind us. Is that in a different place?
It's in a different place. Yeah, we have a service department, which is the contact department for the domestic market for sure, and we have it also for the export markets. So we have some stuff with sitting in the office and holding contact to you guys.
Can we show them the sitting in the office part where the people were, you know, so that they can see maybe who they're emailing into and talking to?
Sure. If it's interesting to see people sitting,
phoning, I just want to see what it looks like.
We can do so.
That's cool, because communication is so key now. Because there's a great sensitivity amongst the consumer. Once you buy the product, you know, do you have the support after the sale? And I think that that's a really important piece. We've explained, you know, the chain of command and how the pathway they should take, but it'd be nice for them to have a visual of what that actually looks like here in Diana, Germany, if they do a little bit of end running and you know, maybe send you guys an email or something.
Yeah.
Can we go look?
No problem for me.
Cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see two different types of packaging going on here. Just came from final assembly and finishing. And then they come over here. Some come, or maybe they start here and then they go down there. What's happening here?
Yes, so last step was the final assembly and finishing line. So now we will put the items into the sales packaging.
Retail packaging, I guess
packaging
is what we call it, sure.
Yeah, so this is the next step we can see in the background. And then the further step will be to put the sales packaging into a shipping packaging to protect it.
So, okay, so the shipping is like for the export. It goes in the big wrapped up cellophane crates and it goes in the big container overseas.
Putting on a pallet or putting in another shipping carton to avoid any damages on the retail packaging or something like this.
Okay, and then so from here, then they go over to the vault, the Nagatomi Plaza vault over there.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go!
Over there and stand by for the 3 doors to come up and the trucks to get them and off they go.
Yeah. I will call it the bunker, but yeah.
The bunker. I call it the vault.
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. Can we go take a look at the export packaging side and show them what that looks like? I'm just thinking if there's anything I want to ask here. No, I imagine this is probably where they put in the owner's manual and the warranty card and wrap it in plastic and make it look pretty.
Yeah. And we want to minimize the packaging, so sometimes if we have a collapsible stock or something like this, it is packed separate to save the package.
To make it smaller to keep the price more appropriate.
So this is maybe the fact that you're seeing that they are packed several parts into the carton in the background, and I think you will show it in detail.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, the export now, this is something that we should talk about. You know, these guys may not have been privy to, but the airgun industry and the firearms industry, because of what's going on the planet right now, the cost of exporting goods from Europe and from Asia over to the Americas has just become almost astronomical, right?
Yeah, right. It's a really challenging situation to do so because trade costs are increasing and it's almost difficult to find forwarders who want to carry this kind of items. So it's challenging stuff to do so with the export shipments, but yeah, we're doing good on this. So we will find a solution to get the item shipped to you guys.
Good. I heard rumors of like the export costs like doubling over the last year, which I'm kind of amazed that if that's true. I haven't really seen the prices go up as much as I thought they would with the price of shipping. So that's got to have been difficult for you guys and everyone else, I would think.
Yeah, difficult for us, difficult for our distributors who are the importers of these items. And yes, the pricing is more than double. Sometimes it's 4 times more. So it's really challenging situation, but yeah, at the moment it's a bit decreasing again, which is good. But in the end, it's still tough.
Yeah. So as this like stop may be, this is really important to the health of your company and being able to keep prices down by getting everything small and consolidated and then really filling those shipping containers. So when they come over, you're getting the most of your dollar.
Yeah, you can also see all the cardboards we used. So also the pricing of the cardboard material is increasing a lot. So not only on the different parts of the item itself, also for the shipping cartons, cardboards, general, the shipping fees. It's a tough situation.
Crazy. Well, cool. So let's go check out the export side and see what that looks like.
Yeah,
okay?
let's do it.
Okay. All right. So retail packaging over to export, which is this.
Yes, this is the result out of it. So,
but there's no people here working on this right now. But I'll try to get some video for you guys to play here, maybe in the coming days while we're talking or whatever.
Yeah, you can see that the shipping boxes are packed on the pallets and wrapped with some green wraps. And then in the end, there comes some black foil on it for rubbery protection. And then you cannot see which items are on the pallet for security reasons. So yeah, this is the result out of the export packaging.
Okay, and my guess is because these aren't in the vault or the bunker, that these are probably all air guns because they're not required by the German law to be in the bunker.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So where do we go from here?
So the items are going to our customers directly. So this is maybe the last point of our tour, because then we make the shipments to you. And we make the bookings in our system.
Okay, and so do we want any final words for these guys?
Sure, because
from Marcus the Great.
Yeah, I think the tour is now ending at this point, and our items are leaving to your direction. So thanks, Steve, for the great work and for the great days we spent together.
You're very welcome, and thank you too. This is sincerely a privilege and an honor to thank you for the trust. Coming into your facility, showing me around, letting me show these guys what you do behind the scenes, and telling your story with such transparency. You know, that was kind of a big one, because for me personally, I know there's been a lot of confusion with the change in 2014, and now you guys are taking off with your 2 new lines, and you've got these new guns coming, and these 2 new guns that you just brought to market, air guns. You know, it's a lot to process, and so it's nice to have some order to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're completely right. So also thank you to you for joining us on our tour.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for your efforts you also spent on our brand. And keep going on.
And if you guys have been skipping around in this video by chance, which I totally understand because it's super long, I'm going to have another video or 2 out of this facility. We're going to sit down with the engineer that helped develop the 34 EMS as well as the XR200. He's going to take us all through the product. That'll be a separate video. And then I think these guys are going to be sending me some product, I'll say in the months to come, like inside of like maybe 6 to 9 months to review for you guys. And that'll probably be out of the new professional line.
Yeah, right. So we will ship the new XR200 to you, Steve.
Perfect.
For a review video. And yeah, you can be excited to see what's coming next from our brand. So we will have done really good stuff here, and you will see the results very shortly, I guess.
Perfect. We can all look forward to that. And in German, it would be Danke, Dank, is that right?
Danke is,
Danke?
is totally right. Danke and
thank you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
And
Which
Wiedersehen.
means bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.